Alright, let's continue this S.P.Q.R. adventure. Let's load the save. Let's see if we read that. Death of a traitor. I'm pretty sure yes. And we're gonna have to have a bit of puzzling going on very, very soon. Also, I definitely do want to try this again. Oh, excuse me, but... I'm pretty sure this should work, like... I think you have to be very fast though. There you go. We actually finally did it. Isn't that like amazing? I guess spam clicking is the way to go. ... I will channel the thunderbolts of Jupiter on copper rails. ... I will play as Rome burns. ... Marble plan piece. Right. And there you go. We exited through this door. Well, I'd call that a major success. Now, if only I could figure this one out. I think we need to be like one day ahead. What? Oh, it's fine. We need to be multiple days ahead. A question of cost. I took a walk in the morning before the day got too hot. As I went south of the Temple of Saturn, I stopped at Gordian's construction site for his new temple for the Emperor. He was using some very expensive materials. I know Rome lavishes praise in the form of luxurious buildings on its rulers, but I understood from rumor that this was a private construction on Gordian's part. Where is he getting the money for all those exquisite marbles? Long live the Emperor. The newly available information on past treason necessitated the arrangement of the Senator Plautius Quintilis. The accused did not appreciate the Emperor's generous offer of pardon in exchange for detailed cooperation, and kept insisting on his total innocence. What a mistake! In deference to his apparent old age, the suspect was allowed to decide on the mode of his own execution. Yeah, what a mistake. Prior to this chosen death from self-starvation, however, the senator must have turned repentant and prayed for the life of our great emperor. He expressed the wish that should the latter ever want to die, he would not be able doing so.
A quester stopped by to visit me at the tabularium. He was too casual when he asked about the materials I was using for the new temple. He said he wondered if they were very expensive. I assured him that they were not. After he left, I stood at the window staring out over the forum, wondering if the man was an informer. Even Julius Caesar borrowed funds for his rise to power. I've done what any other Roman would do for his emperor. Haven't I?
Yeah, maybe. Let's see. We'll just continue this madness here. The old man. I hope that Cornelius might be able to answer some questions about Xanthus. So I inquired about him with Prefect Papinian. I was rewarded with a hot summer night in the Talium jail. I have spent more than a few nights there, and they have been the longest nights of my life. The screams in the dark, soldiers' footsteps that you hope don't stop at your cell door, and the overpowering stench of death, as I'm sure was the prefect's objective. I have been discouraged from further investigating Cornelius's arrest. A vision. I was enjoying the late afternoon heat, wallowing in memories of Syria, when a chill ran through me. My eyes were closed, but I could see clearly. I saw the last breath of life escape from an old man's lips. I heard death rattle in his chest. His white hair whipped wildly in the winds as Hades claimed him. Who is he? And is this a faint opening of my mind's eye? A hard day's work. I found the female fishmonger and she gave me a job. I told her my name was Xantip and I was a freed woman who was on her own. She took my smooth hands in her rough ones and declared that I had never been a slave. But as long as I didn't tell any more lies, I could assist her for a few sesterces a day. I gutted and deboned fish for hours under the blazing summer sun. My fingers bled, and the smooth skin of my palms grew rough in the day's labor. Progress. I watched the hoisting machine that Gordian's workers are using to build the temple. Work goes more quickly and workers are free to perform other tasks. More advances like this one and new buildings will be going up all over Rome every day. From what I can see, the temple will look like every other temple around the Forum, except of course for the particularly expensive marbles that I see arriving every time I walk by the site. Materials. The cella walls of my temple has been erected almost to its full height. Some of the wooden scaffolding still remains visible in the openings of the wall. I have used a mixture of oak and fir wood. Fir has air and fire and little water and earth. It does not easily bend, but its heat encourages decay and fire. Huh? Oak has a lot of earth and a little water, fire, or air, and lasts forever, although it may warp. The two woods should balance each other.
My lady student's powers are stronger. She sits in the shadow cast by the curtain hanging in the doorway. Out of the darkness, she describes what she sees when her eyes are closed. 5 hands reaching for an eagle. She tells me the eagle is Rome, and she fears it will be destroyed. She wonders if the apprentice she sensed earlier will be able to save the eagle.
The pleasure to watch. Yesterday was the first time this year that the people of Rome enjoyed the spectacle of the Naumachia at the Circus Maximus. Effectively flooded with water from the Aqua Claudia, which despite its old age continues to function remarkably well. The Moxie flight reenacted in minute detail the first naval battle Rome ever fought, namely our victory at Mylae against the Carthaginians at the outset of the First Punic War. The regular soldiers were pitted against the convicts, who played the enemy and fought with considerable mettle until they lost roughly a half of their numbers by drowning, to the great applause of spectators. A distraction. I attended the Naumachia, the mock water fight on the Tiber. Sometimes the Circus Maximus is flooded with water from the mighty Claudian aqueduct, and these games are held there. The ships maneuver and soldiers try to board the opposing vessels. Water sprayed onto the banks, cooling the spectators in the hot sun. I thought I saw Verania in the crowd, but the heat must have affected my eyes. Huh. A scare. On my way from work along the Tiber, I passed the mock water fight. Just seeing the river water spray in the air cooled me. It is unusually hot this summer season in Rome. I stood in the crowd for a while watching the ships, but faces started to look familiar, and I became frightened. I hurried away, but I think I saw Lucius among the spectators. No one must know I am alive. So they even did see each other. Right. My star. I took a stroll. Also, I find it kind of weird how she just wanders by, like it's inside the Colosseum, right? So I don't know how she could just do that, but fine. Even first rank. I took a stroll in the Celestian Gardens with Stella in the early morning before the summer heat peaked. She is so adventurous in her explorations. She touched every flower and ran her small fingers through the leaves of every tree branch she could reach. There was a wonderful blossom on a very high branch, and I lifted her up onto my shoulders, and she could just reach it with the fingertips. She is my joy. Out in the night again. I found it too hot to sleep, although Verania dreamed peacefully as I left the lair in the middle of the night hours. There are a number of buildings I must inspect to gather more information for my plan. There are some experiments I must perform, and they can only be done at night. In a corner, Crixus has increased his demands. He wants more gold, and he wants his own slave to do all his work for him. Next thing he'll be demanding I free him. He threatens daily to reveal me to Severus, and is always mentioning Verania's innocence. This Thracian will bleed me dry if I don't do something about him, and soon. She's probably just gonna murder him. Let's read the Acta Diurna first. The god who provides. We're almost at the time I want to be at. The Ludi Apollinaris, which we now celebrate, were first decreed in Rome's direst hour, when Hannibal's army stood at its gates. Apollo then saved our capital from ruin and continues protecting it to the very present. Last year, our victorious Emperor Septimius Severus honored the god with the splendor of the secular games we still remember all too vividly. Our emperor's piety is equaled only by his commitment to public good. Today, he will personally preside over the solemn sacrifice at the Temple of Apollo on the Palatine and offer to the dividend deity special prayers for the welfare of the city and the empire. Apollo Games. The gladiators march around the Colosseum in their purple tunics with gold embroidery. That's weird how the gladiators have the purple as well. But fine. They face the imperial box where Severus sits. They extend their right arm and declare, "Hail, Emperor, those who are about to die salute you." The first duel begins. Wagers are made as the instructors urge the fighters by thrashing them with leather straps. What? After it was over, an attendant turned over the bloody sand to hide the stains. Attacked. I sneaked out of the lair while Xanthus slept. I wanted to explore the city at night. I was near the Temple of Concord when a drunken soldier reached from the shadows and grabbed me. He tried to force himself on me, but I was able to get away. I was shaking, but I returned home. Xanthus made me tell him every detail of the incident. I finally fell asleep near sunrise under his watchful eye. Aspirations. I attended the games in honor of Apollo in the Colosseum. I was crowded in with others of my class. I long for a higher station and a better seat to go with it. If I were prefect of grain, overseeing all of the Ostia harbor, I would be closer to the action of the emperor, of the gladiators, or perhaps in the imperial box itself, enjoying the summer day with the emperor and his sons. Ostia will be bring me much satisfaction, not to mention cool breezes. This is one of the hottest summers I can remember. Okay, we need to be like a couple of days further. Vengeance. Verania returned after the 8th hour of the night to our lair, shaking like a tree in a rainstorm. I put my arms around her, hoping to calm her, but it seemed to upset her more. Eventually she was able to speak. She explained she had been attacked by a drunken soldier. I insisted she describe the man to me. I will find him, and I will do him in for attempting to harm her. He will pay, and so will all of Rome. 2 days. The Knights. I mean, this flower is also in the home of the Vestal Guardians, Vestal Virgins, right? Severus said no to evicting the staff of the finance office. Severus said no to evicting the staff of the finance office so I can move my business. Gordian has suggested a vacant building once occupied by a funeral guild. But my vision of the dying old man has put me off such places. I am Sibyl of the Syrian desert, seer of the stars and reader of the dreams to Emperor Septimius Severus. I should get whatever I want after all. I did the impossible. I smeared a perfect chest vestal and brought about her end. Where's my reward? I don't even know. Like that's a reward in itself, right? I don't know. Also, like, how can you even be a seer if your mind's eye is closed? Come on, man. Another crime. The temple of the defied Lucius was flooded with water, and on Julius Caesar's birthday, no less. It's becoming more difficult to keep up with Calamides, whoever he is. It took a tremendous amount of ingenuity to flood the temple, since it was built on a pedestal to avoid floods. The barbarian Sanctus can't be this intelligent. I have to believe that I am pursuing more than one saboteur. My tunic is still wet from my tour of the temple. I mean, doesn't Lucius know that the barbarian Sanctus is also Segestus? Or Segestus the barbarian? I'm pretty sure he knows the name. Right? And he was also talking about Sanctus to Gordian. And he should know that Sanctus was a student of Gordian, right? I am a comrade. She now sees the empire as I do. She understands when I rage against the evil. I pace the floor on our home, ranting about the corruption and the death, and she urges me on with stories of what she has witnessed, having been so close to the center of power. I explain to her that the praetorians and the senators and the emperor himself must be made to pay. She grows pale when I mention Severus, and then tries to cover her fear with her newfound strength. Right, so here's the thing. Where's our lever? Oh yeah, there we go. Got him. That's like the easy part. So many things here. This is maybe supposed to tell me some things, but so the entrance door of the temple should be opening in a specific way. Let's see. Taking the water out of this, so this block goes down. Interesting stuff here. Let's see, so this goes down. Then we need this to go up again. I guess. I don't know how that works really, but it's not too difficult to figure it out after you've seen it. Imperium Romanum. The Roman Empire. I think this has to do, I mean, I've read that it had to do with, Italy. Gaul. Gaul. I don't know what that means. I think this has to do also with the order of things. Julius Caesar. Let's see. Okay, let's just read this aloud. Do I have a pen here? I don't have a pen here. I can't write anything down. Why am I so unprepared? I don't know. Should just read it anyway, I guess. Remember it. Feels bad, man. Feels pretty bad. Julius Caesar. He witnessed the Republic's decline and sought to establish the rule of one man. In this, he was the precursor of the emperors and is often listed among them, although he never held the imperial titles. A military genius, Caesar conquered Gaul and fought the war against Pompey and the defendants of the old republic. So Gaul, Pompey, he defended them several times, sailed to Egypt where he fell in love with the teenage Cleopatra, fought in a campaign in Asia, in which he wrote, "I came, I saw, I won," then went to Africa and celebrated 4 triumphs upon his return to Rome. He was famous for clemency, which made himself a dictator, and was killed by the senators on the Ides of March. Right, so Gaul, Pompey, Gaul, Pompey, Asia, and Africa, right? So, Gaul, where's Pompey? Where's Pompey? Is this Pompey? No, this is Asia. This must be Pompey. Then Asia, and then Africa, right? I'm so confused. I don't know if I should have done something here as well. I just ran through it, I guess. It's the exit, we don't want to go there. So this is the bath house, and this is the place where actually it was I think I'm supposed to set 1 to F, 1 to C here. Also, I need some kind of a stick, but I don't have it yet. Let's go to the... No? Well, here's the stick. We need to make it smaller, right? I mean, we can see if we need to make it smaller, right? Definitely not like this. Can I... So, this is supposed to be like cold water. Let's see. F and C. Should do it. No. Then the other way around. So we put the C here, F here. We're so smart. So incredibly smart. So then this one should be full. Yeah. The other one should be empty. Oh, if I... Huh? Oh, C and T then. I was pretty sure it was C and F. Maybe it's F and T. Now it's here in the... Anyway, we got a string, we got a note here. It doesn't... I don't know, man. I don't think it really matters if you're changing this. I don't think it changes things in Rome itself. And also I was kind of looking up to this... I thought this one was going to be super difficult and unintuitive, but it was actually pretty straightforward to do this one. I actually kind of knew what I was doing there. So yeah. I'm also talking about like the whole puzzle with the weights and like having to click here and here. That's okay. We totally just nailed that one, which was very, very smooth sailing. What? Isn't this like the entrance, but this is also the entrance? This door looks the same from both. No way. Oh, we can cross that off our list without a pen. Also, it's weird how you can... This thing here. I couldn't go down here earlier. Oh, I guess we're having to do the same puzzle again. If we were to leave this place, I just wanna... check, man. I mean, that's cool cutscenes. I like... I appreciate... That was weird. I actually was... The thing was on the thing. Right? Also, this wall just turning around. Alright. GG, we fixed the thing, or we did the things. Rage. Sanctus and I celebrated Julius Caesar's birthday by talking late night into the night about the evils of Rome. I once saw Julius Caesar as a hero, but now I see him through Sanctus's eyes, as a tyrant who conquered and murdered innocent people. What the emperor has become is not really Roman. It is some kind of hideous corruption of power and bloodlust. When I think of that moment, as the emperor calmly ordered me to my death, anger blackens my mind. Pretty sure this animation has been played before. Trouble. Sybil still haunts me for a new location for her business. Not even H-A-U-N-T-S, but H-O-U-N-D-S. Which is somewhat the same, but not the same. The emperor has told her she cannot have the finance office. I have suggested a former funeral guild building on the Via Nova, but she is not enthusiastic. In fact, I would dare to say she is seething mad. This woman annoys me with her strange suffocation sense. Her dangling jewelry and overly ornate clothing, she is beyond extravagant and beyond dealing with. Not a foul play. The flooding of the temple of the deified Julius and the nearby baths some time ago has been indeed a minor, if unfortunate, incident. A preliminary appraisal has made it clear that the trouble was accidental, with no foul play involved. The actual cause may have been some structural damage, which was due to persistent leaks in the age-old Aqua Claudia, which supplied water to the baths. This may have occurred in the course of preparations for the Naumachia earlier this month. The chief former engineer Gordian is instructed by the Emperor to inquire further into the matter. That this mishap did occur on the deified Julius's birthday is nothing but coincidence. I mean, surely it's coincidence. Another meme-investigator. Severus wants to know why I didn't know about the flooding at the temple of the deified Julius and the nearby baths. If my mind's eye is reawakening, I wish it would hurry. I am in a very precarious situation with the Emperor. I need information about these crimes, but I don't trust Crixus to investigate. I must go myself. To the temple and to the baths. Sybil is on the case of the Calamites. So the next date we're gonna have something interesting happen is Sybil map. Or probably sooner actually. The cart, was it? Yeah, I think the cart is the first one. Let's see. Where was this stupid thing again? Where's the cart? There's the cart. So this one is probably first thing we're gonna be going for. Did we read this? We totally read this. The meme investigation. You must light the altar fire outside the temple of the deified Julius. Then, through a mechanism I don't understand, but I'm sure Cornelius would, the doors open. There are some devices and maps on the floor below ground. The bathhouse next door to the temple had to be closed because the water level had risen too high in the pools. I never liked the caldarium in that particular bath. It was always too hot and my feet expanded too much to get back into my sandals. Oh, poor man. Protection. I taught her how to defend herself. She must be able to take care of herself. If she is to continue going out alone, she is stronger than I thought, and after some hesitation, she punched at the air with great force. I taught her a move Billa Felix himself taught me. Just when your enemy thinks he has you in his grasp, you slip low under him, and using his own weight against him, you flip him on the ground. Rania enjoyed herself a little too much as she performed the maneuver on me. It's pretty cute that those two get along really well. And actually Sanctus is becoming a pretty good man, or doing pretty good stuff. Teaching self-defense and all that. I approve. A lesson. Sanctus taught me how to defend myself as he was taught by the brigands he once traveled with. At first, I was awkward and afraid to use my full strength, but under Xanthus's tutelage, I soon learned how to hit with power and escape from someone bigger and stronger. For the first time in my life, I felt the muscles in my arms, and I knew how to use them. I felt like a gladiator, ready to battle. A request. I feared the Emperor's wrath, but he merely asked me to investigate the flooding of the temple. The water came from the overflowing baths nearby, but why the pumps malfunctioned, I don't know. Perhaps there is a problem further up the line at the valve house on the Via Nova. But I have yet to find anything. I have tried to figure what Calamidas had in mind with this, but all my notes and sketches simply end up a mess. In Calamidas's footsteps, the levels in the baths near the Temple of the Divine Julius are unbelievably high. No wonder the waters flooded out the door and into the temple nearby. I don't know much about the mechanics, but it would seem to me a piece of something has fallen off. Something else. I used to attend these baths frequently before my recent success. I always found the frigidarium too cold. The water shrank my fingers and my rings would fall off and get clogged in the drains. That's weird. Lucius says it's the one thing is too hot, and then Sybil says the other thing is too cold. I guess the door doesn't open. Unless you do the whole thing with the thing again. Suspects. If the barbarian isn't smart enough to perform some of these acts of destruction, then who is? Perhaps Gordian would know, who would have the engineering education to flood the... Wait a moment, why not Gordian himself? It is not impossible that even a solid citizen like him could have some secret reason to destroy Rome, and foreigners are always threatening Rome. What about Sybil? She always has something up her sleeve, and if Verania were alive, I'm sure she would have plenty of reasons to destroy Rome as well. I would wager there are plenty of Romans who are not too pleased with Rome. Doubts. I have learned much from the experiments I have performed. I must do more research though. There are still some details of my plan that need some more work if I am to succeed. I have yet to take Verania into my confidence because I am not sure of her commitment. I believe she also keeps secrets from me. I watch her back as she sits hunched at the table, scratching her thoughts on parchment. I wonder what is in her mind that she so needs to write it down in ink. Well, you better don't go and read it. The barbarian again. It always comes back to Xanthus. Or, if I am to be fair, anyone, such as myself, with engineering knowledge, pumps, water, flow, directional flooding. Xanthus is qualified in all these areas, and so am I, and so is Hanno, and many others. I still wonder what has become of Xanthus. Even though Lucius insists he is a barbarian named Segestus, I think of him as Xanthus, sketching on parchment, and biting the end of his stylus as he thinks. Right, we're just gonna do one more day, and then we're gonna end the baths. I returned determined not to be embarrassed to the bath house near the temple of the defied Julius, but it was closed for repairs. Both the baths and the temple had been flooded, and there were whispers in the street that the flooding was caused by calamities. The mechanism that opens the temple doors is an invention of Cornelius's. You light the altars outside the doors, and then, through a process of water and fire, the doors open. I mean, yeah. It's actually not too complicated, this whole process. Also, it's nice that... Oh no, I did it again. It's nice that they're telling you what to do here as well. I mean... It's just so obvious, like... Literally every line here, and every connection, is just... visible, right? You see that there's here water, you see... Even here, you could see the picture. So this is the fire outside, right? When you do that, the water goes in here. And then it's just a matter of... this goes up. And then it goes down again. Like you can see all the ropes and the whole mechanics. Like, I don't know. It's weird. I also don't think it works right the second time around. Also, I don't know if we're supposed to be finding... what was the order again? Goal. This one. Is there another side? No, there's no other side. See if there's anything more here. Also, I said I was gonna stop, but hey, we have like a couple of minutes before 50 minutes. This is the other side of the thing. Go through the tunnel. It's like not much other ways to go. Yeah, we totally didn't miss out on anything. But I thought I read something as well earlier about the rings of Sybil like falling off. So that's in the Friggy. Let's try and actually get the Friggy empty and see what's going on there. This is how it works. There's nothing here. Well, anyway, we tried. I think that's fine. I don't believe there should be something there. I just thought there might be, but that's okay. We're fine. We're doing so well. We actually did 2 puzzles this video. And we read a lot of stuff. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy yourself. And goodbye. Now I need to stop this thing.